shade blunt, you know what I'm saying? It's going down.
Welcome to this week's JS Report. Nothing funny, nothing clever this week for the cold opening. We're just going to hear from Coach Chris Smith after his big win against Collierville.
All right, Chris Smith, congratulations on the hard-fought win. How's it feel?
It feels really good. All the hard work the kids go through in practice on a daily basis. The coaches work extremely hard, break down tape, and all that good stuff on the weekend. I thought that makes it even sweeter winning the way we won, because I think everybody saw all the hard work pay off that these guys have been putting in behind the scenes. You don't really see them. You see all the work under the lights on Friday nights, but these guys are putting a lot of work behind the sines as well. So it's pretty sweet to watch it pay off.
You kind of reminded me of the Germantown-Collierville game back in day two, right?
It's good to be back in 6A. It's exciting football. They have an incredible football team, talented kids. The quarterback is an extraordinary football player. He made some plays tonight that I haven't seen probably ever in my career. He scrambled around. He made stuff happen, dropped some balls, 40 yards now, fielded a basket, an inch from the sideline. So hats off to him and the way he played, because he is a really good football player, and Collierville's still a really good football team. They're going to have a lot of success this year.
And what can you say about your defense, just stepping up when they mattered most as well?
Oh, yeah. Those guys played really well. We had a lot of young guys have to step in the secondary and made some big plays for us down there in the stretch. They made the plays when they had to. So it was exciting to see them, the young guys getting to step up and play this early in the season, especially in your first region game. And we're just fortunate and thankful to come out on top.
And how about that Pierce Rogers making that game-winning field goal?
It doesn't surprise me. Pierce is up here kicking on Saturdays, Sundays. He kicks all the time. He works at his craft real hard. We're fortunate to have two really good kickers for high school. And they kind of, compete with each other. They push each other. They make each other better. And they got a great relationship. And it really hats off to those guys. They put in a lot of work on the side.
Congrats on that dub.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck next week in Arlington.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, my take one this week, we're going to talk about week 3 recap with Thomas. Thomas, some exciting games out there this past week.
Especially in Region 8, 6A, had 2 showdowns, and both games lived up to the hype. Germantown, Houston, then Bartlett, Collierville. The Bartlett Collierville game was an offensive slugfest. It was like, Johnson for Bartlett would have a big play, then Glover would have a big play for Collierville. It's basically, people always say who has the ball last. Not in this case. Bartlett defense stood up and made a big play. Then, speaking of big plays, the block extra point out there in Houston for Germantown got them the 14-13 win. So 2 great games, and now things are starting to shake out in that region.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to go down to the wire, I believe.
Yes.
But hey, how about those MUS Owls going on the road and getting that huge win against Montgomery Bell Academy, 14-10?
They're proving their defense is really good over there at MUS. And to go into that environment in Nashville against a traditional power that sends kids across the country on Division I scholarships in Montgomery Bell, I'm not going to say the old MUS Owls are back.
And then Mitch McDaniel and the FACS Crusaders got a huge win non-conference, 19-14, where they come back and win that one over West Carroll. That was a good win for Coach McDaniel and his group, non-conference game. And their non-conference game coming up this week, which will be part of one of our games to talk about later on. But just another huge win for Mitch McDaniel to get him ready for league play.
And when you had him in here a couple seasons ago, when he just started taking over this program, he said it was going to be a slow process to building it up. But once he got his culture in there, it was going to take off. And we saw the first 2 games where they're putting up basketball scores. Then they go against a tough opponent this week. Now they're showing that defense is legit and the offense can adjust to adversity. So the Crusaders are looking really good.
And also, C.J. Marsh and Bolton still undefeated. They're 3-0 now. Coach Will Hudgens got his first win as an SBA Eagle head coach this year. They beat Westwood 30-24. Battle of SBA and TRA, which we'll talk about later, but that'll be this week. Yes. So congratulations to all those teams that stood out. Like you said, Germantown, huge win on the road, a lot of extra point to win the game. And congratulations to all the winners. And even though the teams that might have lost this past week, just keep your head up and keep grinding, and we'll highlight you soon.
made the stop at the B-Dubs whip chase. First down to the Panthers inside the Dragon 15.
All right, Thomas, take two this week. We will talk about some players that have stood out in this area from week 3. Who stood out to you?
Well, I always got to start with the game I actually go to and see in person. I got a chance to see the Millington Trojans take on the Fairware Wildcats out there at Fairware, out there in Somerville. The Millington defense, when you win 40-0, you got to point out some key players. Jonathan Temple Dowdy, he's the heart and soul of that defense, getting all over the field. Mumford was smart enough to stay away from him in the M&M Bowl. Fairware took the ball towards the side. He damaged them. Khalid Green, number 6, linebacker, is doing an outstanding job stepping up his play. But the guy that stood out the most to me was Javion Todd, number 4, senior linebacker, also an all-state qualifier in wrestling. He's strong. Once he gets his hands on you, you're going down to the ground. Mm-hmm. And his speed, plays a little running back, does some kickoff returns, so you combine speed and power. And he had the first big hit of the game and established the atmosphere that night, and that defense brought it all night for Millington.
You know, some players that stood out in the area. Geron Johnson, 33 carries for 274 yards. Like I told,
and we just saw him in the highlights.
Right, I just feel like that was Robert Giammo back there again. But Aiden Glover, 17 of 33, 315 yards, 4 touchdowns, 45 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown run. And then one of his targets, Martez Carter, 4 receptions, 125 for 2 touchdowns. FACS, Brian Shields, 103 rushing in that huge win. And also a 95-yard special team touchdown as well. You know, like we talked about Germantown, Houston for take 1, their quarterback ran over 116 rushing yards in that game too, and had over 100 yards passing in that one. Like we talked about MUS, Brady Hughes, the quarterback, 175 yards passing and 57 rushing in the hostile environment at NBA. And then Seth Donnie, SBS quarterback, 234 rushing yards for the Eagles as well. And congratulations to Coach Conley and White Station getting that huge win over Cordova, where they had a running back run over 2 touchdowns in that one. So those are some key offensive stats from that one. And then some defensive players. We talked about Dowdy, from Millington. 9.5 tackles, 3.5 for loss, and 2 forced fumbles.
Yes.
So he came ready to play in that one. Charlie Goss and Trey Wimpler for ECS or FACS had 16 tackles each in that game as well. So that's 32 tackles between the 2 players.
Nice duo, nice combo.
And then Josh Wright had 11 tackles, and then Luke had 10 tackles for FACS as well. But some Mumford players, they got that huge win non-league game as well over Melrose, 25-20, where they had to come back in that one, if I'm not mistaken. Those 3 players, headed monster that we talked about last week, stood out again for the Mumford Cougars.
That's Cobbs and Collier and Bell.
And Griffin.
Oh, yes.
And Dow. But yeah, special teams, some credit, some love. Pierce Rogers, game-winning field goal for Bartlett, 32 yards out. And another key fact, 5 of 5 on extra points. And we know how key extra points are in these games today. So those are some players that stood out, and we'll look forward to seeing Aiden Glover highlights right now. All right, it's my top 5. That doesn't mean anything according to Thomas, but his top 10 means something. But top 5 does mean something around here for these players. Go ahead, Thomas. Do your top 10.
Wow, what an intro. That makes me want to walk off the set right now. But yeah, ours does come with a trophy and all that kind of stuff. It's got proclamation from cities and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of important. Number 10. Yeah, just a tad bit. So number 10, the TRA Rebels at 3-0. Got St. Benedict this week and it picked up a big 21-14 win at South Fulton. Good road win there. Number 9, going with Christian Brothers High School, the Purple Wave, 2-1. Suffered a loss at Brentwood Academy that drops them down in the top 10. At number 8, the Bolton Wildcats at 3-0. Big win over Lakeland Prep. Took care of business, won 44-7. Have Wooddale up next. Then we jump up to number 7, the Millington Trojans. Went on the road with a convincing win over Fayette Ware. And a big league matchup against Craigmont coming up this week. Number 6, the FACS Crusaders, 3-0. 19-14 win over West Carroll. And let's see if they can keep that undefeated streak going. Number 5, I know they took a tough loss to the Bartlett Panthers, but hey, that's a quality 2-1 record that the Collierville Dragons have, so they're number 5. Number 4, those Bartlett Panthers, bouncing back after that opening loss to MUS with 2 big wins. Rivalry game against Arlington this week, so they travel to Arlington. Number 3, the undefeated Germantown Red Devils. Riverdale is on the schedule. Let's see, can they still be the undefeated Germantown Red Devils? The good thing, that game will be here in Shelby County. Number 2, the MUS Owls at 3-0. McCauley is coming up next, and hey, their schedule never gets easy because they're in that big league and they take on the best of the best in the area. But I think the Owls are ready this year. And at number 1, the defending champs at 3-0, eked out a win against Melrose, the Mumford Cougars. So they're set atop at number 1. Will they still be number 1 when Southland comes to town this week? We shall see. Now let's get to that very important, crucial, vital top 5 from Jonathan.
Well, it's top 5 I want to do it different this week. We're going to do top 5 performers for teams that stood out this week, in my opinion.
So you're not doing teams?
No. Well, we're going to do teams. I'm just talking like teams that stood out like by their game in general.
Okay, let's see what you do.
Number 5, I'm going to go with TRA. Like you mentioned, they brought a huge win, on the road, getting ready for the league play coming up soon. Number 4, I'm going to go with Bolton because their offense is still clicking on all cylinders, it seems. They got a big game going on against Wooddale this week. So I believe that's a league game too now.
Yes.
So that's definitely going to be a good test for the Bolton Wildcats to see how they are going to be on offense and defense against a feisty Wooddale team. Number 3, I'm going to go with Collierville just because they still have done pretty well on offense. Their defense just needs a little bit of work, but hey, when you got Bartlett on the other side that's capable of putting up numbers, it's still good and going good up there.
They might see each other again in November.
Yeah. Number 2, I'm going to go with MUS just because their offense, they're still clicking on all cylinders. They go into a hostile environment in the NBA and basically just dominate that team from Nashville, if you want to call it. They got a huge win, non-league game. The state didn't really do anybody no favors this year either by playing 2 non-conference games against these teams out here.
Yeah.
And then number 1, I'm gonna go out with and say Bartlett just because they scored 38 points. Cam Alexander, Geron Johnson, too many other players to name on offense because everybody clicked on all cylinders. But everybody just give a lot of credit to the Bartlett offense in that one, and it's coming up clutch like we talked about with Pierce. Last day, kicking those extra points and making them. Those extra points are so key these days in this game with ages these days because it could come down to an extra point or a 2-point conversion that might be missed or something like that, or a team might not have a kicker or something like that.
Yeah, special teams is 1/3 of the game.
So number 1 is Bartlett. I think the only reason I don't have Mufford in there is just because it came out to a slow start against Melrose a little bit.
They were up big on them.
Right.
Melrose came back, so.
That's what I'm trying to say, but long story short, Melrose, nothing against them. They have played 2 tough teams back to back, and then Mufford's got Southwind this week, so we'll definitely see how the offense and defense is for Mufford this week, in my opinion, because the Southwind is predicted to win the league by some people out in the state of Tennessee.
This is a lot of people think this is the championship game already.
Right
in September. Yeah.
So that game is at Mufford, I believe. So. If Southwind fans can go out and support your kids, go ahead and do so. Just drive 45 minutes away.
Oh, they will. They travel
support,
well.
yeah.
The Jaguar Nation, and they know they got a good team. They do travel well, so they don't mind making that trip. Like the Mumford people didn't mind making the trip last year. It's a developing rivalry, so I expect it to be electric out there in Tipton County.
I could see a high school affair happen. I could see like a double overtime.
Oh wow! I'm glad I'll be at the Craigmont Millington game, so I might not.
Hey, you can leave it. Nothing against Craigmont, but you know. But yeah, we'll look forward to my top 5 and his top 10 next week. All right, take 4 this week, Thomas. Give me some games that you are looking forward to the most. Give me your top 5.
I don't have a top 5.
Or top 3. Or give me some 3 games.
Well, games just kind of jump out to me. I always look forward to the game I'm going to go cover. Is Craigmont? Are they good? Are they bad? We're going to find out. And how legit is Millington? And would it be between Millington and Melrose at the end of the season for that region title? Southwind Mumford. Wow, this is going to tell who's who and who's the big dog in that league. I wish this game was a month away. Instead, we get it on September the 8th. It's going to be in a hostile environment for the Jaguars, and it's going to be an electric environment for the Cougars. But I don't think that's going to bother Southwind. They want some revenge from last year's game. And this is going to be odd, but TRA St. Benedict, I guess me covering the Rebels for so many years, Coach Dean and that group is looking good. And can they catch the Eagles when they're on a high right now? Because you got the taste of victory. Now you think, hey, we can get this rolling. And TRA is out to prove that, hey, we can play with FACS and Jackson Christian in that league. So we shall see. But those games that jump out to me to take it away from Region 8, 6A.
Hey, Coach Griffin, Coach Calvin, could you move the game to Saturday morning? At like 11 a.m. or
Yeah, I think everybody in the area would love to go.
Yeah.
Mumford has plenty of space, that nice little bowl arena.
Yeah, could we move the game to Saturday morning, please? Because I got to work. But yeah, could we move that game to Saturday? But yeah, you took some games already. But Southwind Mumford, that's my number 1 league game.
Yeah.
McCallie, Chattanooga McCallie actually makes the trip over to Stoke Stadium in the U.S. That'll be another interesting game for Dallas.
Yeah, it's like an old school state championship game back in the day. Those two programs are always powerful. So yeah.
Battle of Undefeateds and that one. McCallie comes in 3-0 as well. We talked about Riverdale traveling to Germantown.
Yeah.
Murfreesboro, Riverdale, I might add. Team from the 615 coming into Memphis playing the 901. But it'll be a good test for Germantown, I think, to find out how competitive this game will be for them. Get them ready for the other 8-6-8 teams that they had to face throughout the games as well.
Well, Walker, the quarterback, he is, he's a good dual threat quarterback. So he'll keep, the Riverdale defense on their toes. And Germantown, what I love about them, when Coach Robinson does over there, he has them focus on all 3 phases of the game. So special teams, that's why you block an extra point, because you go hard at all times. And they still got something out to prove to the middle of the state that, hey, the ball that we play here in West Tennessee is legit. So Germantown, I think they're going to bring out a big, heavy punch at the beginning of the game.
Another thing is, how is Riverdale going to be adjusting to that 3-hour bus ride?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, when it's in your favor, yes. When you sit and wait on them to come to you.
Right. So the other game, SBA at TRA, that could be an interesting game. Bartlett, Arlington, another rivalry game. Throw out the records, throw out the friendship. Anybody, just throw out the game in general, because it's going to be a hard-hitting game on both sides.
This game has replaced the real BHS Bowl back in the day.
We're bringing it back soon, hopefully.
Hey, once Bolton's trending towards that way, like, hey, we might give y'all a fight on the gridiron now, but right now we have to enjoy Arlington Bartlett, so that's going to, like you said, throw out the records. Hey, these are neighbors going against each other right now.
Yeah, then FACS plays a Hollow Rock Brewston out of Brewston, Tennessee. Another good drive for the FACS Crusaders to find out how maybe they can get ready for their league game by playing a tough team in that one. And then another game, Lausanne at ECS. Both teams are pretty young. It is a league game as well, I believe.
But ECS is on the winners board, so big win for them this past week. Once again, like what St. Benedict's facing, can we build off of this? And how do you handle winning? How do you respond to winning? That's part of learning how to win. Any coach on any sport would tell you that.
Yeah, so both teams are pretty young. So any other game that, we didn't mention, but go out and support the kids. Go support the band. Go support the cheerleaders. They need all the support. If anybody wants to grab some popcorn for me, go ahead, and some nachos as well. I know Thomas will be doing photos from Milton.
And if you're not busy during the week, go support these young ladies on the soccer field and on the volleyball court. Because, hey, their season, before we blink our eyes, it's going to be October and they'll be in their postseason. That's when you're going to hear us talk more about what they're up to and what they're doing on the volleyball court and soccer field. But, hey, I was at a great 2-2 tie between Mumford and Millington. So check out those highlights on West 10 Media. They're coming up. Great game, great atmosphere. Every second of that 11-minute video is worth to watch.
And we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
I know if you're still around, so I know you're tired of hearing me and Jonathan talk. So we're gonna hear from the players of Bartlett who were part of that big win. We're gonna hear from Cam. We're gonna hear from Mr. Johnson, and hey, the guy who kicked the game-winning field goal. And we'll see you next week.
All right, I got Mr. Geron Johnson, the offensive player of the game right here. Geron, congratulations on the great game.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the JS Report / for West 10 Media as well. Is that Robert Giamo out there, a former Bartlett player I saw running that football? But Geron, first of all, congratulations on a great hard-fought win, first of all.
Thank you.
How did that feel? The first two games, I know the first game did not, it hurt. It was not good for y'all. But the second game against Lausanne definitely was a momentum game as well. The first two games on the schedule got y'all ready for this Collierville game.
Yes,
What
sir.
can you say about it?
We had a point to prove. After the MUS game, everybody really overthought of us. Everybody was making fun of our quarterback doing all this kind of stuff like that. But we all had a point to prove. I went out there for my boy Cam and showed how he feel. Backed him up. We took care of our thing out there.
But yeah, just talk about the Collierville game in general a little bit with me. We thought, with great coaching staffs on both sides of football, first of all. Second of all, we knew what Aiden Glover was capable of, from last year going into this year. Just talk about the overall atmosphere and the overall game.
It was tough. We had to offense. We had to take over really. Defense, they did good, but they had tough situations they had to be in. Aiden Glover, he's a good football player, but we had to overcome. Do better.
What can you say about your
Overtime.
performance?
Me.
You only ran over 200 yards.
Yeah, 274, 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I did good. I was in my mode.
What can you say about your offensive line?
I love them. They did good. They did awesome performance last night.
Let's talk about maybe the road ahead with Arlington a little bit.
We got past week, this week, upcoming Arlington. I think we got it. We got it most definitely. We got to keep going. It's going to all get better.
Just talk about how the difference between the two coaches, between Coach Smith and Coach Tucker so far, we think, like the offenses.
I feel like Coach Smith, his paced, it's more tempo, it's more faster, better. Better. He give us more exposure.
Okay. What can you say about your kicker, Pierce Rogers?
I like how he did that little kick over there. It was clutch. I like how he manned up in big situations.
So what can you say about your defense, especially also just keeping y'all pretty much back on the field? They might not have got that, like Devin Rutherford got that big turnover with the interception. But then again, you're back right on the field running the ball at least 6 times every time. Every play looks like a handoff. But again, you're just wasting the clock is all you're trying to do, because we knew the time of possession was going to be mattering when it mattered most, especially that last drive for both teams.
We had to drive the ball, keep time going, keep time moving, keep pushing, overwork them as a team.
Absolutely. Another great win, 38-35 against Collierville. Good luck this week against Arlington.
Yes,
Another
sir.
tough test on the road, but survivorry game. So take care of
sir.
business.
I got you.
All right, Mr. Cam Alexander, GS Report. Welcome back to another episode.
Appreciate it.
Cam, how did it feel to win 38-35 against a great team in Collierville?
For the most part, it just really showed our character. It was a tough game. We knew it was going to have to come out and fight for 4 quarters. They got a great coaching staff over there, great players, Aiden Glover, Martez Carter on defense and offense. He switched in. He came in at DB in the middle of the game, kind of threw us for a loop.
Yeah.
But, the whole week we were just prepared to just be ready to come out and play and dominate.
Like we talked about in the offseason, those first 2 games got y'all ready for this game in general against Collierville.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you got MUS. You know what I'm saying? Can't skip over that game. That's the game that started this season off. It was tough, a whole lot of adversity coming out of that game. A lot of people questioning what we could do, if we could still play football, if we was ready, and all of this. But Lausanne game, we came back, bounce back game for us. We just kind of put on the show, put on that we can play football. It was tough, we can fight through anything as a team.
Like you're talking about with Geron, just talk about your overall performance against Collierville. You know, early on you did throw that one pick,
Yeah.
you know, but you bounced back and took a good drive down the field.
Yeah.
Just talk about your offensive line. Just talk about your overall performance.
Oh yeah, you know, really the game started off great. You know, we came out, got the ball back, started on offense, got the ball rolling. O-line doing great, run blocking, pass blocking, getting us down the field. And we had that 13-yard strike to Jay kneeling for a touchdown. And throughout the game, we just kept battling. Peaks happened, whatever. I think I threw 2, but it's just miscommunication. You know, little learning curves and new offense and everything, but it's gonna tighten up soon.
Right. Talk about your offensive line performance, especially on that last drive.
Oh man, O-line. I owe them folks a steak dinner, some jewelry, everything. You know what I'm saying? If I could do it, I would. You know, but them guys down there, they
dinner
tough.
first of all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dinner for sure, but like nah. Those guys did a heck of a job going out there battling. You know, we talked about it all week. They was gonna be the ones to win the game. You know what I'm saying? Being aggressive, doing what they need to do, and they handled their business.
What can you say about your defense as well? You got some leadership on that role too.
Oh yeah, defense did amazing. I love them guys. I mean, it makes our job a lot easier on offense, knowing that we can go out, you know what I'm saying, do what we do, and then knowing they got our back no matter what. David, Lance, Devin, Jordan Cooper. We got young corner, Derekus Henson.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying, we're doing good.
All right, throw out the records. It's rivalry week. Talk about the Arlington matchup.
Arlington matchup. Oh yeah, they can't be overlooked. We got to go out and play them just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? They call it a rivalry, but you know what I'm saying. We're looking forward to that game. We're gonna show it. We're gonna show up for sure.
I know one thing, that you're going to keep on doing a good job out there, so keep up the good work. Cam Alexander joins me now. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Pierce, congratulations on the win, man. How's it feel?
It feels amazing. It was a little nerve-wracking at the end, but I got it to go in.
Yeah, let's talk about that game-winning kick. 38-35 for the game winner, Pierce.
Yeah, so we were driving down the field, and I was like, it was kind of starting to set in, like, oh wait, this might come down to me. And then my coaches came over and like, all right, start warming up. So I started kicking, and it became 4th down. And they tried drawing the offsides, and we didn't get it, so we called a timeout. And that's when the nerves really started setting in. And I was like, I'm really about to kick this. And then I was just standing back there, just like calm, deep breaths, just kick it through the uprights. And the snap, the hold went, and I kicked it, and it just felt decent off my foot, and I saw it go in. So
Hey, credit your offensive line, first of all. That's the number one thing you got to do, Pierce. Then your holder also did a great job of holding it, too.
they did a great job.
Hey, everybody, all-around team, great win, to be honest with you as well, Pierce. And just talk about that huge win for the region going into next weekend, too. A good environment in Arlington.
Well, oh goodness.
Feel like a playoff game, huh?
Yeah, it did. It was very, very nerve-wracking because it was our first region game of the season, and it was a big one because they were supposed to be the number 1 defense in the whole region, and they beat Beach last week, but Beach didn't play us last year. So it was a big win for our program.
Pierce Rogers, game winner. Pierce, congratulations on also making all your extra points as well.
Thank you.
Pierce, good luck next week, man.
Thank you.